Hey guys, today I'm bringing you my Smith & Wesson, whoops, 686. This is the -6 model, as it says in there in the crane. I don't know if it's going to focus, but you just had to take my word for it. 686-6 with a 6-inch barrel. This is the deluxe or Talo edition. Comes with the wood grips on it, and it is safety checked, as you can tell, and it is dirty. It's dirty quite often because I shoot it probably the most out of all my guns. This is my favorite gun, really. This is the pistol I shoot the most. I mean, revolver is probably the gun I shoot the most. I shoot it a lot. Probably the only gripe I have about it is that this thing likes to come undone a little bit after shooting it. But probably fixable if I put a little Loctite on it or something. But overall, the gun shoots really good, and it feels good. I love these grips. These are kind of dark. They're a little darker than I thought they'd be, but I mean, it may just be that production line of wood. But I have polished this to almost a mirror finish. You can still see some of the grain in it, but it looks really sharp. But so, like I said, it feels good, and the trigger is pretty good. It is safety checked, and the double action super smooth. I mean, it's just like butter. I love it. And the single action, it's awesome too. Probably like a 4.5 pound if I was to guess. But like I said, I love the double action on it, and single action's awesome too. But this gun, really, I shoot it just as good double action as I do single, just because that double action trigger is awesome. And I don't know, it's just an awesome gun. And they do make speed loaders for it. I mean, I know some people are a little leery about it being a 7-shot if they make speed loaders. Well, my local gun shop has plenty of them, so they're about $10. So in the box you get this paper, and don't throw this away because this helps preserve the gun if you ever need to keep it in the box for a while for some reason. But anyway, you get the gun in that paper, and you don't get a speed loader. You gotta buy that separate. But anyway, let me take my ammo out here. You get a lock, as with any gun, and you get the keys for the internal lock on the gun, which is right there. I've never used them, but in case I ever have to, I have keys for it. And you get your instruction manual. I suggest you read it, as with any gun. And your warranty info. So, and I did have a loaded chamber indicator, or like a unloaded chamber indicator, I guess. Just like a little plastic circle that goes over your cylinder when it's unloaded. But I don't know where I threw that down at. I probably just threw it down wherever I took the gun out of the box and never see it again. But anyway, that's what all you get. Pretty nice little package. And this gun, it cost me, I think, $715. I think that was at the door. I think that was tax and all. So that was a pretty good price, I thought. For what all you get, I mean, a full stainless steel revolver, Smith & Wesson 7-shot with wood grips. It's just kind of hard to beat, in my opinion. But the trigger and the hammer, I never knew this. If you watched my other video about my 686 4-inch, I kind of griped about the trigger and the hammer, but now I've come to realize that they color them like that. They're not just unpolished or anything. They're made to look color case hardened, so they look kind of old-timey and stuff like the old guns. Some of them were hardened like that, and especially their old revolvers, they used to do that a lot. So they're just kind of carrying on tradition with some of that. So I've grown to appreciate the way the trigger and the hammer look. And as far as the negatives of the gun, I mean, a lot of people gripe about the lock on it, which I don't have no problem with it. I don't think it's a big deal. It never gave me any trouble. But the only problem I've really had with this gun is when I first got it, is having light primer strikes. 1 or 2 out of every cylinder or 2 wouldn't go off, and double action mostly. I think they'd go off in single action most of the time. But you know, in single action, the hammer's cocked back a little bit further, so it gives it a little bit more momentum. But it's pretty easy fix. All I had to do was take off the grips. It just takes a screwdriver, and then there's a little screw about right here on the frame, and I just had to tighten that screw. So, but the only downfall is the more you tighten that screw, the stiffer your trigger is. But I've tightened this in a good bit, and the trigger's still pretty darn smooth. So, well, it's not really, it doesn't really make it unsmooth, it just makes it heavier, I should say. So, even with tightening that screw, the trigger still seems pretty light for being a double action revolver. So, and what I did do is when I tightened that so it wouldn't happen again, I took the screw out and I put a little bit of Loctite on it and screwed it back in, and I don't think I've had any trouble since. So, good little tip, if you do get one of these, don't get discouraged if you're having light primer strikes. I mean, Smith & Wesson will fix it if you want them to, but I didn't want to have to fool sending the gun in and stuff, so it was just a pretty quick fix. But other than that, it's a great gun. I love shooting it. I took it to a bowling pin match the other day. Didn't do too bad with it. I was pretty impressed with myself shooting this gun. And I plan on taking it deer hunting or as a backup sidearm for bear hunting or something. I mean, really, 44 Magnum would be better. But, I mean, if you can't kill something with 7 rounds of 357, then I'm just going to be on the menu. So, great gun. If you're thinking about it, get one. Don't think about it too hard. I'd rather get this than a Ruger just because it's better quality, better made in my opinion, and it's a Smith & Wesson. I mean, when people think of revolver, they think Smith & Wesson, and it's just a good gun. And this, since I can't get a Colt Python since they're not made and they're about $3,000, I settled on this. And let me tell you, I don't think I settled at all. Well, one thing I forgot to mention was that this is the L frame from Smith & Wesson, and what the L frame is it's a beefed up K frame. Some of the old K frames used to have trouble shooting thousands and thousands of magnums, which, I mean, most people ain't gonna wear out a K frame. But Smith & Wesson heard these people that were griping about the K frames, and they designed the L frame, which beefed up this yoke right here and beefed up the forcing cone. And they really beefed up the gun while keeping about the same size as the K-frame. And they also gave this underlook to it to help with recoil. So with all that, I just wanted to mention this will handle all the magnums you want to shoot at it. People often say that the Rugers are tougher because they're bigger and stuff, but the L-frame is just as tough as any Ruger. So don't let that cloud your judgment when you're thinking about a Ruger or Smith, because like I said, these will handle anything you're ever going to throw at it, and they'll last you a lifetime, and they'll last your kids a lifetime.